Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of travelprofessionalnews.com, homebasedtravelagent.com, and findahostTravelAgency.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join with us. Today's topic is From Day One to Day One, WON, launching your travel agency the smart way. And our speaker is a good friend of ours, Chris Green, who is the Director of Network Expansion at Avoya Travel. And Chris brings over 20 years of industry experience to his role at Avoya, beginning his travel career as a leisure and corporate travel specialist with various agencies, including Sendent Travel, Travelport. And Chris first joined Avoya as an independent agency owner himself in the Avoya Travel Network, and before joining the company as a full-time employee in 2013. So he's been with them as an employee, working with them on bringing network expansion to Avoya since 2013. So since then, Chris has played a critical role. He expands the Avoya network with high-performing independent agencies, and he knows all things Avoya. So remember, folks, that you're all muted, but we welcome your questions at any time. You can type those in on the questions area that you see on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will get to those questions as soon as Chris is finished with the presentation. We are going to be sharing a special document later for the attendees, and Chris will be sharing information on how you'll be able to access that document. And we're also going to be awarding a $50 Amazon gift card, courtesy of us here at Travel Professional News. So that's going to take place after the questions at the end of the webinar. So I'm going to, without any further ado, turn the microphone over to my friend Chris so he can get started. Welcome, Chris.
Joni, thanks so much. It's always a pleasure to be here with your fantastic group. And I think we've just got an amazing presentation for everybody today, right? From day one to day one, WON, right? Because who doesn't love closing that first sale? I mean, I remember the excitement, the enthusiasm, the hollering around the house when it happened. It's really an amazing thing. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody who tuned in today. I love the fact that we've just got a great crowd for our webinar today. My name, as Joni said, is Chris Green. I am the Director of Network Expansion here at Avoya Travel. 12 years I've been with the company, and I've just had the pleasure of watching Avoya Travel continue to grow by leaps and bounds in that time. And I'm so glad you could all join us today. Here's a little look at our agenda for today, right? We're going to do some welcomes and, of course, why all of this matters. The idea is why launching smart beats launching big. Because if you're not smart and you launch big and you're dumb about it, well, that's just like building a house of cards, and you might be able to get that up quite a few stories, but eventually that's probably going to crumble on you. So launching smart certainly beats launching big. What trips up new advisors? We'll kind of go over some of the common myths and mistakes, and hopefully we can give you some advice on how to avoid them. We're going to talk about the 5 smart steps to launch your business from idea to income in 30 to 60 days. It really is possible. We'll go over a real success story, how one advisor made their first booking in under a month. And of course, as Joni said, we've got that exclusive gift, that live only access to the launch day blueprint. And at the end, if I don't talk too much, we'll certainly make sure we have some time for some question and answers and talk about your next steps and that personalized support to help you start strong. So let's get started and let's launch a travel agency the smart way, my friends. First, I want to give a big shout out to my friend Joni Ogg and their brands, travelprofessionalnews.com, findahostTravelAgency.com, and homebasedtravelagency.com. For years, they've been a trusted resources helping thousands of aspiring travel advisors just like you explore and navigate this exciting industry. It's a privilege to be here today with them and to be speaking to such an amazing audience. So we want to talk a little bit about what's coming up, right? This isn't going to be your typical fluffy presentation that just gets you all rah excited about the idea of being a travel advisor and then kind of sets you off on your own. No, the goal for the next 30 to 35 minutes is to give you a clear, no nonsense walkthrough of exactly what it takes to launch your own travel business and do it, as I said, the smart way. We're going to cover how to move from just thinking about it to actually doing it, actionable ideas, right? With confidence and a solid plan, whether you're just exploring this as a new venture or you've finally ready to make the leap, this session will guide you through the smartest first steps. And hopefully, by the time we're done, you'll have a roadmap for success. And for those of you who do stick around until the very end, as we've talked about, we'll be giving you an exclusive live only launch day blueprint handout that'll be an invaluable tool. It's a one-page guide, again, filled with all sorts of actionable ideas. Start using momentum the moment we finish today. And then we're going to talk about the SMART path, the 5 steps that it'll take you from being interested in this industry to actually generating income in your first 30 days. These are the same principles we see successful new advisors use every single day at Avoya Travel. Define your why and your niche, right? Choose the right support system, simplify your tools, practice real world selling, and create a weekly success routine. Let's start with step 1. Define your why and your niche. This is about getting specific. You need to identify 2 things as a business owner. And when you do, not only will you be more successful, but to be honest, you'll have more fun because you'll be selling products that are meaningful to you, and that really resonates with you. And when it resonates with you, it's going to resonate with your client too. So who do you want to serve? And why this business truly matters to you on a personal level. The biggest, most common mistake you can make in the beginning is trying to be the travel advisor for everybody. You can't go everywhere. You can't know everything. You're never going to have been on every single excursion at every 4 corners of this crazy world of ours. When you cast too wide of a net, your message becomes a loud but blurry signal that no one can hear clearly. You'll end up being an advisor for no one because your unique value won't stand out in the crowded marketplace. Instead, take a moment to reflect on your own passion. Think about what you genuinely love. Do you adore family cruises on a specific cruise line? And have you become an unofficial expert on the topic? Um, are you a connoisseur of all inclusive resorts, maybe in the Caribbean, and you can speak with confidence about their amenities? Maybe you have a deep passion for planning adventurous trips for people in their 50s and 60s, or you know everything there is to know about Disney vacations and the magic they create. By intentionally focusing right on a specific niche, you don't just become an option for your clients, you become the go-to expert. Let me say that again, the go-to expert for your client. This specialization makes your marketing efforts sharper, your educational path clearer, and the selling process so much more natural and effective. So before you do anything else, you need to answer these 2 critical questions. What's your why? What fuels your passion for travel? And what do you want to help people experience? And what is your specific niche? That area where you're going to become the master. Remember, you're not here to be a jack of all trades. You're here to be a master of one. And that mastery is what will build trust and lead to a strong, sustainable business. Choosing the right support system. Okay, so you've got your why, and we kind of know what your niche is going to be, and you have a clear vision. Now you need to build a solid foundation to make that vision a reality. And this is where a host agency comes in. This is where you learn that you absolutely don't have to go this alone. A good host agency provides education, the mentorship, the technology, and most importantly, the ongoing support you need to get up and running and stay successful. As I mentioned earlier, these are cornerstone resources for Avoya Travel. Our ongoing professional development program is like nothing else in the industry, from our network enrichment team to our early success team to brand sales to the webinars to the This Week at Avoya to the live events like we just hosted last week for our $1 million agencies in Orlando, constantly working together to try to make sure that they have that information that they need to help run a successful operation. Think of it this way. You can try to start a business from scratch, which means building your own website, and you got to handle the legal contracts, securing direct relationships with dozens of travel suppliers. figuring out commission tracking all on your own, or you partner with somebody like Avoya Travel that already has done all of that hard work for you. At Avoya, for instance, we've already spent decades building those relationships, perfecting the back end process. We focus heavily on our best in class support, technology, early education programs like early success and brand sales. We're not just throwing you into the deep end and hoping you figure it out. We're giving you a life raft and teaching you how to swim. And then we're giving you a coach to guide you. You know who else has coaches? Professional athletes. Athletes that sign contracts for millions and millions of dollars, the best at what they do, because everybody needs that extra set of eyes and ears. We provide a proven structure that prevents that information overload we talked about earlier, where you're behind the scenes partner taking care of the tedious logistics so you can focus on the fun part, selling travel and building client relationships. Moving on to simplifying your tools, because this really is a step most people skip, but it's absolutely critical to your early success. Don't try to master 10 different booking systems or dozens of different product categories right away. You'll quickly overwhelm yourself. You'll stretch your focus so thin that you'll get nowhere fast. A lot of new advisors get distracted by all the bells and whistles like complex website builders and expensive CRM software, or trying to piece together a half dozen different programs. They spend more time on their business tech than on their business clients. Instead, you can leverage a support system that has already done that heavy lifting for you. And again, a key benefit of being in the Avoya network, where you have exclusive access to Avoya Travel's agent power technology. Advisors in our network consistently praise it as easy and practical to use because it centralizes everything you need in one powerful, streamlined platform. This means you don't have to piece together everything in a bunch of different tools. You can master one powerful system that gives you the resources to book travel efficiently. Complexity is the enemy of the process because it slows you down and it erodes your confidence. The simplistic approach provided by Avoya Travel is your superpower. It allows you to build a foundation of expertise and speed that will pay off for years to come. Practice real world selling. How do you get good at selling if you don't have any clients yet, right? The $1 million question, the chicken or the egg. For many, it's a painful process of trying to convince friends and family, hey, grandma, go somewhere, please, so you can book a trip with them, or simply waiting for a client to magically appear. You're ready to get started, but yeah, no one to practice on. Well, this is exactly where the power of the Avoya network comes in with our amazing live lead program. This is a massive game changing advantage of being with Avoya. We have a system where we send you qualified, ready to discuss travel clients and their requests directly to you. That's right. These aren't cold leads, these are warm leads. These are clients who are actively looking at travel. This allows you to gain real world experience, get practical experience, and start earning commission fast, all while having the support of our experienced team to help you through the process. It's ultimate learning by doing, and it's what separates those who are just thinking about becoming an advisor from those who are actively booking travel and building a thriving business from day one. In fact, I bet if I took a poll of the people that were at last week's Avoya Travel $1 million showcase and asked them, I bet you more than 90% of those people made a sale in the first 30 days that they were a part of the network. So it really is that important to just get out of the gate and start talking to clients, start taking bites of the apple. Now we're going to talk about creating a weekly success routine. Habits are what turn a part time interest into a full time income. It's that consistency of your actions, not the intensity, that leads to success. That's why you need a rhythm. We recommend a simple, powerful weekly routine that you can commit to, even if you only have a few hours to spare. Here's a simple yet highly effective weekly routine to follow. Spend 1 hour on education. Use this time to sharpen your skills, learn about a new destination or a product, maybe watch a webinar on a new resort in Mexico, complete a supplier training course, or dive into a trade publication, or stay current on industry trends. The goal here is to continually build your expertise so you can speak with confidence and authority to your clients. Spend 1 hour a week on outreach. Connect with people in your network. We make it easy at Avoya Travel. This is not about a hard sell. It's about that nurturing of relationships. Send a quick message to a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. See how they're doing. Check in with past clients. Engage with local community groups. This keeps you top of mind and consistently helps build your network. Spend an hour a week on quoting. Practice building those travel itineraries, even if you're just doing it for fun. Practice makes perfect, right? You've heard that. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. This is where you gain speed and accuracy. Create a hypothetical itinerary for a dream vacation you'd love to plan. The more you do this, the more confident and efficient you'll be when a real client inquiry comes in. How about an hour a week on your business check in? This is your strategic hour. Review your goals, celebrate your wins from the past week, plan the week ahead, look at your leads, track your progress, identify one key action you want to accomplish in the coming days. The simple rhythm builds unstoppable momentum, ensures you're always moving your business forward, turning a small part time effort into real consistent progress. And then let's talk about some real advisor wins because I want to share a story. They didn't want me to use their name. It just goes to show that it isn't all about theory. It really happens. But I was talking to a new advisor, as I do a lot, and they had a passion for all inclusive resorts. And this person, she followed these 5 steps religiously. She focused on that niche. She went through our onboarding, engaged with our early success program, was in attendance of things like This Week at Avoya, so she knew what was happening with her host partner. She got registered for a travel leaders profile, took advantage of the live lead program, and within the first 45 days, she first booked her first big client. I'm talking commissions with an extra zero in it, right? So the kind we love, a family trip to Mexico, got big commission out of it. And now with the confidence gained through that process, her agency is starting to thrive and they're on their way to even being part of next year's $1 million showcase. So it's just a powerful reminder that with the right focus, the right support, engagement, that this is absolutely achievable. So let's talk about our bonus giveaway. For those of you that have stayed with me, first off, I want to thank you considering we had some earlier issues, but I also want to say as a big thank you that we're giving away an exclusive launch day blueprint. This isn't just some generic worksheet. This is a one-page actionable launch plan with the exact steps we've seen our top new advisors use to build momentum and get clients quickly. And it includes a 30-day roadmap, a weekly tracker, and practical tips that you can start using today, and it's available only to our live attendees. And and Joni, I'm going to kind of invite you back in here for a second because I apologize. I don't know what I have to do to be able to open
Oh,
up.
you don't have to do anything. We're good. I'll explain it to them real quickly. Over in the handout side of the screen, on the right hand side of your screen, you'll see an area that says handouts. If they touch that arrow, it'll open up a window which will allow them to download, and they must download that particular document that you're sharing so that they can access it later. So that's all they need to know.
Perfect. So now that we've taken care of that kind of stuff, we want to know maybe people are ready to win because everybody loves to win. And we've got Joni on with us, and we're going to help find our winner today. And our question, if you paid attention, should be pretty easy, right?
Yes, but first we're going to do a couple questions for you, Chris, that came up. Just a
Okay,
couple. We don't have too many
sure.
questions.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Um, this one is this individual says that their niche is groups. What kind of support do you provide at Avoya for travel agents that do groups?
I mean, first off, we have an amazing groups team. Our groups department, 3 blocks, hundreds of thousands of rooms across the widest sailings all across the world, so that our individual affiliates have that ability to sell into those groups with either an added amenity, maybe it's a special price point. We also are able to piggyback off of all of the groups that through our consortium partners, we're part of Travel Leaders Network. They have an amazing groups department. But then you combine that with Avoya technology. We actually have it to where it's searchable to be able to find all the groups. So if you look at a specific sailing or you're looking to find the best price point, you can zoom in there. On top of that, we have all the ways for you to be able to craft your own group. If you're putting together a group for a cruise or an FIT or for a tour, and whatever those tour conductor credits are, that's going to be between you and the vendor and your client. So in your group, you keep all the tour conductor credits, but we have just massive support system for groups for both those that Avoya manages and those that are managed by those in the Avoya network.
Perfect, thank you. Another question is, can you talk a little bit more about how folks get the live leads?
Sure. So Avoya Travel is I mean, our marketing team is just filled with the true geniuses of our industry. They understand how to manipulate what I find a very challenging world, and things like search engine optimization and the way things are found through search engines online. So not only are we partnered with all of the top brands in the industry, from cruise, tour, vacation travel, but we also are able to, through our marketing team, when people are looking for cruises and tours, make sure that Avoya Travel's name percolates to the top. So then they find us at our website, avoyatravel.com. They put in a request, and that request goes through our algorithm and our process, and it's vetted out to one of the individuals in the Avoya network. And across the board, even in 2025, when people are more savvy about their own marketing than they've ever been in ever in the history of travel, we still find that about 50% of the average gross sales for an affiliate comes through a live lead that are generated by Avoya Travel. So if you look at last year, Joni, when we were just about $600 million in reported sales, that means about 300 million of that came through our exclusive live lead program, and that is truly one of the most powerful and staggering numbers you're going to hear in leisure travel.
That's remarkable. That's fantastic. Um, I just want to quickly, we're going to ask one more question, but before that, somebody else is asking, can you go over about the handout again? So one more time, folks. Do you scroll down? If you look at your screen, you'll see the dashboard there, the control panel. Go down to handouts where you'll see a little tiny arrow. Just touch on that arrow and that'll open up the handouts, and then it'll offer you the opportunity to download that, okay? So I do have a couple other questions for you. Are you a franchise?
We're not a franchise. No, we are independent affiliation. So you are remain and keep all of your own branding. You make the decisions as to whether or not you want to co-brand with Avoya Travel. Of course, we feel that it's probably a smart idea to do it. I mean, we are a very strong, recognizable brand in our industry, one of the largest sellers of cruises and tours and leisure vacations in the United States. So a lot of advantages there. But no, we're not a franchise. You remain independent. In fact, you could be part of Avoya Travel, and if you chose to, you could be part of two or three other host agencies as well. There's nothing exclusive in our agreement, nothing exclusive in any other host agreement. It's kind of like if somebody drove for Uber and they decided they also wanted to drive for Lyft or deliver for Postmates. Because of those independent contractor statuses, they could do any of that.
Okay, great. We've got some more questions coming in, if you don't mind bearing with me here. Um,
Happy.
okay, so someone's asking, do you have to be a certified travel agent? I think they're basically kind of asking, can you be relatively new? Do you offer the training to get them going?
We have an amazing program that we launched a couple of years ago, the Avoya Travel Academy, and it's really fantastic. And so our belief is that if you're brand new to the industry and you don't have verifiable sales in the last couple of years, that yes, we want to see you get certified through a program like the Avoya Travel Academy and get that certification up to date, kind of get from the ground to that first rung on the ladder, so that all of the programs that we have, once you're an affiliate, can really take root and help you just generate the kind of sales that you want. It's a simple, fairly simple program. I think the time commitment is approximately 40 to 50 hours. I know agents that have gotten through a lot quicker. It's both in the written format and in audio format. So if you're one of those people that, you like to listen to a book on tape, we have it in a version where you can just listen to it. Maybe if you're stuck in traffic a couple of hours a day or whatever the case may be. So lots of ways to do that. But yeah, we do believe that you should be certified either our program or another certifiable program that are out there, that we find respectable in order to affiliate. It only makes sense when you look at all of the things that you're able to access, including our live leads, our elite technology, our support. We really are an elevated standard as far as a host agency. We don't say that just to blow smoke. We back it up with everything that we do, but we do want to see somebody kind of match that level of engagement. And a great way to show that you're engaged in your industry is by taking care of that certification out of the gate.
Perfect. And I do believe we're still writing for your, you still utilize our book for that. So I'm very proud that that I think my recording is one of the ones you guys have to use. So I'm very thrilled that we're still doing that with you guys and honored. So another question somebody asked, can Canadians join?
So Canadians can take the Avoya Travel Academy, but currently, and it's not Avoya, we certainly wish things would be different. But when you look at some of the laws in various provinces of Canada, we've made the decision that we are not able to take Canadian agents right now. Um, Except in some minor cases where they have access to United States LLC, a bank account, phone number, and the ability to fill out and pay the tax forms here in the United States. If you can do that, certainly no problem. Otherwise, we do recommend that people take a look at Nexion Canada. Probably rare for somebody else to mention another brand during their own webinar, but I say to my good friends north of the border, Nexion Canada has a great program, and if you're looking to get started in our industry, I might recommend that you start there, at least for now.
That's great. Thank you. A couple questions. Is Avoya still associated with American Express? I know that they were in the past.
No, we were with American Express for 35 years, and the thing is, nobody's affiliated with American Express anymore. It wasn't just Avoya Travel who lost that. American Express, as their business model has morphed and changed over the last decade, made the decision that they were going to sunset their affiliate program. So a couple of years ago, after much vetting and just discussion with all of the major various options that we had, we went and decided to join the Travel Leaders Network. We're one of their top affiliates. We think it's an amazing program. There's all sorts of advantages, especially through the Travel Leaders Profiler Network, where there's access to specific live leads based on geographical locations and the clients finding you. And so, yeah, we're not part of an Amex, but it had nothing to do with Avoya. We are proud of that relationship. It's just they decided to sunset the program.
Right, exactly. Okay. I just wanted you to be the one to answer that one. Okay, so another question from the same gentleman is, what kind of support tools do you have behind the scenes? So as an example, learning library, franchise, BDMs, group marketing, things like that, media, social media support, like on the other side, like on the back end of things?
Wow, it's almost like we planted somebody in the audience to ask that question, because that really does ring a bell right across the all of our support, kind of concept. We really pride ourselves on support. We have the highest level of employees um, to affiliates in the industry. Nobody at Avoya Travel, as far as an employee, myself, Sylvia, nobody that works for the company sells travel to the general public. All of our sales, so when I mentioned that number earlier, all of that comes from our independent affiliates. We have an amazing team. They're 7 days a week as far as live support. Like, hey, I need to put in a support request. Um, so yeah, we have an unbelievable support system. We have the BDMs, of course, from all of the major vendors that work with us. And the thing that sometimes people worry, and I'll just get this out of the way ahead of time, Joni, is sometimes people worry that, oh, maybe the BDM is going to be from one part of the country and they live in another. Our number one team is a team that lives in Southwest Florida or Southeast Florida. Our number two team is way up, could be opposite, way up in the Pacific Northwest. And they are able to still receive the same level of support and service from the BDMs and the people that handle the accounts at Avoya Travel for them to be able to do sales in the five, six, seven, $8 million a year range. So support is not a problem. We have ongoing professional development programs that I've mentioned numerous times here, our early success, our brand sales, our network enrichment team. All of that is support components because we want to do what we have to do to help our affiliates at the end of the day sell more, generate more commissions, and cha-ching, cha-ching, put more money in that bank account.
Okay, perfect. Um, Getting a lot of questions, a lot more questions all of a sudden, which is awesome. You guys are amazing. I do want to let you all know that if we don't get to your question, don't be concerned. Chris is going to get, him and his team are going to get an entire list of all the questions and they can respond to you. They'll have your email address and they can reach out to you. So if we don't answer it, I apologize, but you will have an opportunity to ask those questions or hear the answers to those questions. So somebody is asking about fees. A number of people have asked about fees, annual, monthly, whatever. Are you able to share that information?
Yes. So I'm going to share this based on the idea that you have the qualifications to join the network right away. If you had to go through the Avoya Travel Academy, obviously there would be a fee for the academy, but it does give you access to a discounted fee to actually join Avoya as an affiliate. So, but our normal affiliation fee is $4.95. We think it's incredibly fair with a $49 monthly fee. It provides access to everything that we offer, all of our ongoing professional development programs, access to all of our webinars, access to all of our internet based vendor relationship kind of programs, our live lead program, our sales coaching. So yeah, $4.95 is the initial affiliation fee, covers the first year, and then it's $49 a month. I think it's $120 is the annual renewal fee after you renew at the end of the first year.
That's nothing. That's fantastic. Okay. A lot of hosts have, somebody's asking about if they're a member already of Travel Leaders Network. I know that there are a number of host agencies who are associated, of course, with Travel Leaders Network. If this individual is with Travel Leaders Network, is there an overflow or how would they manage that?
Well, so basically, you certainly can be a part of a couple of hosts that are also associated with Travel Leaders Network. When it comes to your profile with Travel Leaders Network, they require that you would designate one of us as the lead. And so, whatever host agency you make that choice for is going to kind of dictate the relationship that you have with travel leaders as far as from a lead standpoint. So like if you're set up with them and you're that it's the email that you receive through your other host agency, then we have that. Or if it's the one through Avoya, it's going to filter down through us.
Perfect. Okay. And do you offer access to a GDS?
We do not offer access to a GDS. You know, we had Sabre Red for many years ago. But the fact is that even though we've got agents that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year in gross sales, Joni, really no one was taking advantage of it. And again, I'm not trying to slight anybody who loves their GDS or finds it a vital part of their business. But for our needs, we just haven't found it to be something that makes a big difference. We find it's mostly used in a corporate environment, and we're certainly a leisure environment. We do have the ability to book flights. We're not an ARC agency, so we don't ticket our own air. It's all ticketed third party. But we certainly have ways. Again, it's pretty hard to do 600 million in sales, be one of the leading luxury tour providers and cruise salespeople in the country and not get people from point A to point B.
Makes sense. Okay. So we're going to take our last question, then we're going to go ahead and do our prize, if that's good with you.
Sounds
And
great.
you will get some additional questions, Chris, when you get the reporting for this. Is there a additional fee by chance for the certification programs that you offer?
The Avoya Travel Academy does have its own fee. Um, I would recommend going to their website, avoyatravelacademy.com, and getting the latest information. They are constantly, just like any business, having different sales and opportunities there. Reach out, talk to somebody on their team, ask your questions, and then if those questions dovetail into something about affiliation with the network, you could certainly get set up to talk to somebody, one of the amazing specialists on my team like Sylvia, who's on the call with us today, or one of her coworkers. Always happy to go over the details of our network. We don't hide anything. We really want to be as upfront and honest about it as possible. Sometimes people find that to be a little bit jarring because that's not what they're hearing from other host agencies. We're kind of sugarcoating it a little bit. It's not really our approach. So if you want just an honest deal and you don't want any sugarcoating, again, Avoya Travel Academy, find out about the school at avoyanetwork.com. You can certainly find out about affiliation.
Great recommendations. All right, so we're going to go ahead now. Chris, this has been fantastic. Absolutely loved your answers to the questions. Plus, I want to definitely make a point to mention that we appreciate that you had a little bit of problem with the PowerPoint and that you guys solved it and you had such a great attitude about it because sometimes people get a little panicked and you did not. So that's awesome. so,
Oh, thank you,
so
Jenny.
I loved that. I loved that. I appreciated that very much. All right. So, folks, again, remember, if you put your questions in there, they will get those questions later on. Now, we're going to go ahead and do the prize giveaway, and this is how we work it. I'm going to ask the question, and we'll have an answer to the question that you guys will answer. And you answer by actually putting your answer in the same place that you put your questions. So you'll simply keyboard your answer into the area that you see that says questions. And as fast as you can, we're going to pick the 10th correct answer to this question, and we will be awarding you a $50 Amazon gift card from Travel Professional News, and I will be sending that out to you later today, whoever the winner is. All right, so here we go. Ready, set. Okay. Question is, how many hours are suggested each week to focus on your business routine? Go.
This one should have
I
been
think it's the
fairly
right
easy,
one.
right?
Okay, we got a 10. We got a lot of answers, but we didn't get it all the correct answers. The answer is what, Chris? And then I'm going to go ahead and announce our winner.
You're going to put it on me, are you?
Yeah. Okay. The answer to the question is 4, folks. 1 hour for education, 1 hour for outreach, 1 hour for quoting, and 1 hour for check-in. And the winner is Amy Barrett. Amy, congratulations. You have won, and I will be sending you an Amazon gift card in just a little while. So look forward to receiving that and have some fun shopping. Everybody's been awesome on here today. We've had such great questions and such great interaction. I so appreciate everyone who took the time to be here today. And also, Chris, I want to thank you and your team for another fantastic presentation by Avoya. You know how we feel about you guys. We love you guys and we love working with you. So it's an honor to always be there here with you. So I'm going to let Chris say his goodbyes and we will be done. You guys have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And Chris, I'll let you say your goodbyes.
Thank you so much, Joni. We really feel the same way about your organization and being part of these webinars. So thank you so much for the opportunity. You know, everybody, what we hope is that maybe you heard something today that, if nothing else, piques your interest and just says, you know, I'm going to take at least the actionable step of finding out a little more. It can't hurt to have that conversation and ask some questions and find out a little bit about the history of Avoya Travel, our past, our present, our future. You know, see if we're like-minded, see if there's synergy there when you talk to a specialist, see if this is where your dreams for being in the travel business meld with the practical applications of what it takes to be in the travel business. We think if you do a little research, Avoya Travel is going to come out okay. We think if you pop on, I don't care what your favorite artificial intelligence platform, ask them to compare some of the leading host agencies out there. Ask them what they think about Avoya Travel. You'll be surprised about some of the answers out there. And I have no way of kind of prompting those ahead of time. So hopefully I come out looking pretty good in that. And we hope to hear from you at avoyanetwork.com. We really would, encourage you to get involved in this amazing industry. I talked to some of the biggest people in our industry on a normal basis. I had the pleasure of chatting with Vicki Freed. Vicki's one of the senior vice presidents of Royal Caribbean. She's one of the most incredible people in our travel industry. She's been a huge fan of travel advisors for the last 30 plus years in her whole career. And she is just beaming with enthusiasm about the future of leisure travel right now. So if you're wondering if now is the time, yes, it is. Get involved. Again, avoyanetwork.com. If you need the school, check it out at avoyatravelacademy.com. Reach out to me at my personal email if you'd like, chris.green at avoyatravel.com. I love chatting travel. Thank you again for the opportunity. We wish you nothing but the best. We hope all of your dreams for being in the travel industry come through in 2025, and we certainly hope that Avoya Travel is part of that. Thanks again.